is really cold outside and I literally couldn't get out. Snow, one day, 2 days it snows, the next day it defrosts and there's salt on the roads and it's extremely cold. This morning it was actually 4 degrees Fahrenheit and there's no way I'm taking the bike out. And I haven't been on the bike, I think like 2 weeks. So anyway, this video is mainly for you new Lowrider ST owners or any Lowrider ST owner that hasn't done any or very little upgrades on his bike. I'm going to go over the upgrades that I did on my bike because I did pretty much like every possible upgrade. I'll tell you exactly what I did. I'll show you. I'll do a walk around. I took the bike out before I ran around the bike quickly. So as I speak, I'll show you a video footage of the parts that I'm talking about. All the parts I'm going to be listing below by the description area, so you can literally go see direct links where what I bought, where I picked them up, so you can go directly to the link. And if the item is not listed down there, then there's a general link of Motorcycle Depot. They're currently running a discount now, so you can get a lot of information on the bottom. I'll also have links on the bottom to all the videos that I actually did on my install, all the installs I did, because all the installs, all the upgrades I did on my bike, I either installed them by myself, upgraded them myself, and if something was a little bit more complicated for me, I went over and had help at a local shop. So if you want to upgrade something, do what I did and get reference to that video, check below, click that, there's an install video. And consider subscribing so that way it's easier for you to find, the video. So I'm going to go try to, cover everything that I've done on the bike. I'll start with, I'm going to go through my list over here. My bike is matter of fact, my bike is a first Lowrider ST, came out of 2022. It's the first one in Gunship Gray that came to New Jersey, and I was fortunate enough to pick it up. And ever since then, I've been upgrading it. The 2025 models, that's when there were small improvements over the first 2 years, if at all. I think it actually was only color. But 2025 models came with a lot of upgrades, things that Harley realized that they can improve. So whatever is not applicable, I'll let you know. But let's start with it. Mine is a 2022 Lowrider ST. I call it Gray Ghost. I've ridden 8,000 miles on the bike only this summer, coast to coast to coast. My engine, let's start with the engine. Now, engine again, we're talking about the 117, and I put on this engine a stage 2. I did this stage 2. I installed a Star 3030 cam. I changed the push rods to fueling solid push rods. I did reinforced valve spring, SNS, tappet cuffs, all these things that I'm talking about. All the stage 2 I did at Torque Custom Cycles, and like I said, there's a video below what I did. But since we opened up the cam chest, I put a new oil pump in, I put a cam plate in, I put the Star 3030 camshaft inside, new bearing as well. And that's pretty much what I did on the bike. I got really good numbers. Now, as for 2025 models, when I saw the bike lately at Bergen Harley Davidson, and the research that I did, the numbers that they're getting to the crank is higher than what I got initially on my stock bike when I got it. So it is really up to you if you wanna do a stage 2. It's always good, and we're always after the power. So 2025 models, it's better numbers than the stock 2022s, 23s, and 24s. And I'm not sure if they have the same cam. They might have actually changed the cam to a little bit more aggressive cam. But again, I did a stage 2, and all the parts are on the bottom, listed on the bottom. Part of the doing the stage 2, I installed a Bassani. You need a lot of air in and a lot of air out, right? So I installed a Bassani 2-into-1 in stainless steel. I like that you know, that the stainless steel color, and once it warms up and heats up after a few heat cycles, it gets that bronze color. I wanted that to match my bronze rims. 2025 models actually already have a 2-into-1 exhaust. It's a Harley exhaust. I'm not sure how it performs, but it's a big improvement in what we had before on the previous models, which were 2-into-2 stock. That sounded bad. And if you still have the 2-into-2, the older models, a 2-into-1 Bassani like I had is really, really, really cool. That is air going out. We have to obviously get more air coming in. Now the original 2022 air intake that I had on my bike, it's like that Cannon. I'm not sure what Harley calls it. It's that Cannon. And tell you the truth, the 2025 that I just saw, it's badged differently, but I actually think it's exactly the same design. It looks the same design. It looks like it lets the same amount of air in, but as it is, it's a high flow air intake. I changed my air intake to the S&S teardrop, not because I wanted more air going in, because I think they pretty much let the same amount of air in. I'm not sure, but I wanted to get a more streamlined, a more sleek, narrower profile to the air intake. The stock air intake protrudes out a little bit and sticks out. And because I actually put forward controls, which I'll talk about very soon, my riding position, my knee was actually touching the stock air intake. So I swapped and upgraded to an S&S teardrop. There's obviously, like I said before, there's an install, and it came out really nice. That's for the engine. The stage 2, air in, air out, and a more aggressive cam. That was the engine work that I did. Additionally, on the engine, I also put, I don't know if you heard and researched, the Milwaukee 8 sometimes have, actually every V2 very big bore engine has a blow-by coming in and creating air escaping pretty much from the combustion area, escaping into the crankcase, the whole crankcase, and creating a lot of pressure over there. And you want to relieve that pressure. Now, to get some of that pressure out, there are different methods out there. One of them that I actually employed is I installed a Trask. It's the Trask transmission cover, the vented transmission cover. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that on 2025 models, Harley designed that cover, that transmission cover, with a vent in it already. So I'm not sure if the 2025s need that, but any model before that actually would benefit a lot from releasing all the excess pressure from the crankcase area through that filter and through that vent that I actually installed. Additionally, on the left side, because I went for a stage 2, these big bore engines produce a lot of heat. And as you know, it's air cooled, and it has a lot to do with how fast you're moving and the ambient temperature around you. So during summertime, at slow speeds, even at heavy traffic, the Milwaukee, the M8 really heats up a lot. And one concept and one idea that I know of, and something that I installed, is love jugs. The love jugs pretty much are little fans that rotate in like 17 to 20,000 RPMs and just blow very strong air, wind on the fins of the cylinders. And by doing that, they lower the temperatures. Again, there's a video how I installed it, and I actually have the video actually shows what I measured before and after, how effective these love jugs are. Oh yeah, I did. That's a gift I got from my buddy. Screaming Eagle spark plug wires and the Screaming Eagle spark plugs himself. I don't know. I did it for looks and for I don't know how much they sell it. They say it increases a little bit a better spark. Who knows? But I did that. Same, a link below where you can pick them up. I got them in red, so it looks a little more sporty and aggressive. I got installed the oil filter on the left side by Flow Racing. Yeah, PC Racing Flow oil filter. It's a reusable oil filter. And there's a whole philosophy behind it, around it, how it's much better. I know that the Harley racing team, actually, the King of the Baggers, they use that filter. It's a reusable filter, and it's made of very, very fine metal net, I would say, and it picks up the smallest particles even much better than the stock. And to attest to that is the King of the Bagger Harley team uses that on their race bikes. So that was installed on my bike as well. There's also, well, I did my own DIY kind of external vented air filter, part of the air filter. I'm not going to go into that, but again, I have a video how I did a very cheap and easy install to keep and release more pressure, crankcase pressure as well. Let's talk about body and frame, things that I did to the bike. First of all, let's start with the front. The front has the Rockford Fosgate stereo system. Now, it's a speaker system. It's like one of those Bluetooth little pods and speakers that you connect to your phones when you're sitting on the beach and stuff like that. That's pretty much the concept. There's no interface on it, but the Rockford Fosgate fits directly in. It was designed together with Harley, and it puts out 250 watt or 250 amps. Really, really strong. I tested it out while riding at highway speeds, and I can literally hear it with no distortion. Highly recommended. Really, it did great. It really did great for me. Another thing that I have, if we're in the fairing area, the inner fairing, actually, stock on my bike came black, matte black, where the whole bike itself is pretty much gray, right? So from Advan Black, I got a color-matched inner fairing in gunship gray. So that came out really, really nice. Now let's go to the outer fairing, outer area. Start with the windshield. My windshield, after going through the Harley stock, which is a 4-inch windscreen, then I went to the 10-inch Harley, went back to a 6 from Clockworks, and finally landed at the sweet spot for me at an 8 or 8.5-inch windscreen. I got it in a bronze tint, really sweet. Me being 5'10", 5'9", it covers, like, I get the airflow on my helmet is just perfect. It's not too low and it's not too high. That is what I found really comfortable. When I was rocking the 10-inch from Harley, it was a little bit too high, and I was looking through the windscreen at the top of it. So at the 8, I can actually look above it, and still there's a deflection on the lip, because if you know, Clockworks has that flare, so it throws the air like 2 inches above the equivalent. So if it's an 8-inch screen with a flare, it's effective like a 10-inch standard windscreen. Right in front of that is the headlight. Now, I went through a few headlights and I landed finally on Custom Dynamics Shark Demon. The Shark Demon that was designed with the proper plate for the Lowrider ST. Really looks badass. Very, very strong. Great lighting. A great light. It's just bottom line, much better than the stock. I think the 2025 still have the stock like I had. So that is a very big upgrade. I put a lot of upgrades in front with the lighting. All of them were by Custom Dynamics. It started with all my inserts for the turn signals. I started with those, and now I actually have a whole new turn signal on both sides. It's nice and modern looking. Take a look at this. It's I think it looks badass. They're running lights white, and when you hit the turn signals, they flash amber. Additionally, I put by Custom Dynamics inside the fairing from the inside, screens and lights that go in the vent cowls, the vent areas where the fairing has on each side has 2 holes to let some air in. Pretty easy install. Again, there's a video about it. Additionally, handguards. Handguards, I did, it's from Advan Black. It's carbon fiber. And I put inside them inserts LED. So like my bike, when you look at it from front, is like a Christmas tree. So you can see it's sequenced lighting, and it's really good actually during winter. It protects from from the wind, and summer as well from road debris and stuff like that, flying pebbles. It really proved itself well on our long trip where we would get shot with bugs and stuff like that, or road hazards and things flying on the handlebars and stuff like that. So that was really effective. Forgot to say there's also a yellow light bar that I put below underneath my triple tree, my lower triple tree, again from Custom Dynamics, and it moves with the direction of my handlebars. I think I covered everything in the front part of my bike. If we drop below to protect the bike when, God forbid, when it falls, and actually it did fall, I dropped it once, I put an engine guard. And the engine guard that I actually put is from Harley. It's the mustache. It's the mustache engine guard. It fits with forward controls. That's a question that I constantly get from people that are considering doing the combination. It absolutely fits, and I find the mustache engine guard really comfortable, and it functions as highway pegs because I throw my legs on those 2 rubber mounts on the front, and it really is good. We go back a little bit. One of the most important upgrades for me that I found crucial to me was forward controls. As you know, the Lowrider ST, being a sport touring bike, comes with mid controls. Now the mid controls they did because you want more more aggressive stance and more aggressive position. But since you want the bike to have good clearance when you're leaning, so the pegs are even raised up. Now, since it's a low rider, so your seat is a little bit low. So what happens is, the bottom line is your legs are really bent out, like bent in a very uncomfortable position for me, being 55, actually next week 56 years old, and my hips are not as flexible anymore. So I found it really important, really crucial for me to have my legs forward. And for that, I actually installed forward controls. Again, it wasn't too complicated. I have a list below. I did 2 different setups. Initially, I just installed forward controls like generic that I found. I don't remember even where. And what they did, it gave me pegs, forward control pegs, and I didn't like that. I wanted actually floorboards. So I was able to source out and figure out, I think it was from a Fat Boy, forward controls, and it worked out perfectly. So now I have forward controls with boards, footboards. It's not just pegs, it's boards. And it changed everything. That changed the whole riding position and comfort level of my bike. We're going to go up to my setup, my riser and handlebar setup. I went through a few iterations on that because the stock position to me was a little bit leaned forward, slightly leaned forward, a little bit too much. And I wanted a little bit more a reclined feeling. So I went through a few different options, a few different handlebars, a few different riser setups, and I finally wound up, again, with my height, 5'9", 5'10". I found that the Thrash and Supply 7.5-inch riser with a pullback. Now, how do I get to 7.5? What I did is I got the 6.5-inch riser with a pullback and another 1-inch adapter on the bottom from Thrashing. So the total came out 1 plus 6.5 came 7.5-inch rise with a mid-bend bar, and it threw my whole stance backwards a little bit, and it turned out really, really comfortable. So again, I have a few videos that when I went through all the different options, I went through the 6, I went through the 4, the stock, and I went through the 7.5. So videos all, you know, on my channel. That is my final setup right now is the 7.5 inch from Thrash and Supply with the mid-bend bar. While we're still on the handlebar area, I did heated grips just lately. Heated grips from Harley. I think Harley has the best heated grips. Let's go back. Let's pull back a little bit onto the fuel tank. The fuel tank, I have color matched fuel panel from Advan Black. It's the center panel. The stock comes in some kind of faded black with the FXLRST badging on the fuel tank. And from Advan Black, I got color matched gunship gray fuel, center fuel panel. That came out really nice. Additionally, on the right, the fuel cap, I got, that's a Harley part. It's the stock flush. It's not stock, it's the flush fuel tank cap. So when you click it in, it's flush with the tank, click it out, and then you're able to spin it out. It's a Harley part. I think it came out really cool. Now, rolling back a little bit is the seat. Well, I went through a lot of, not a lot of seats, but I went through a Mustang seat, and I finally landed on a Saddleman. Currently, I rock the Saddleman tuck and roll, which is great. I love it. I also had the Touring, the Lowrider ST Touring from Saddleman with a backrest. I used that as well. And well, I don't need to say much about Saddleman. You know how great it is, right? Okay, let's keep rolling back a little bit. Let's roll towards the saddlebags. Saddlebags, there was a short period where I went through stock, like touring bags, touring model bags, the big bags, on a Lowrider ST. I got that from Advan Black. There was a whole setup, and I switched back to this setup, and I'm actually really, really looking into the new right side saddlebag. Finally, it's symmetrical. It's the same side. I mean, it's the same size as the left side. And I've seen Harley has that part. I don't know if it's available yet, but somebody kind of hinted out to me that the aftermarket are already working on a part, which would make it a little bit cheaper, or actually much cheaper. And if you check here, every once in a while, come and check here. By the time we actually put this video out, I might already have the link below where you can pick that right side, same size as the bag as the left side. So do check down below, or later on come back to this video and check. I'll have a link to where you can pick up the bag. Okay, the whole tail area, tail section area, I completely done with custom dynamics. I put lay down license plate bracket holder, and the lights, the whole tail light itself is from Advan Black. I'm sorry, it's from Custom Dynamic. Sorry, from Custom Dynamic. And under the seat, I obviously put something called the magic play, or the triple play, or the magic straw. What it does, it turns the back area, all those two turn signals, turns them into a running light, and that's what I did. So now my whole back area is the turn signals and the tail light all light as running lights, and when I hit the brake, they all light together and they strobe as well. And as a turn signal, each side, you know, signals to where you're going. So that again was by Custom Dynamics. I didn't talk about my suspension. Stock suspension that came on the 2022 was good, but it could use some improvement. And I was fortunate enough to install the Nevomat, the Wilbur's Nevomat, which is a self, I don't know if you're aware, if you know it, you heard about it. It's the self-leveling suspension. So if you're going to be riding one up or two up, and then with luggage, without luggage. You don't need to play around with the adjusting adjustment and preload and stuff like that. It automatically adjusts to the weight that you're riding on. So that was one big improvement. That was the back as well, and the front got everything new coils, new oil, special. So the whole suspension was upgraded to Wilbur's Nivomat, which was a great upgrade. I don't know how the 2025 models are. I know they said that it's a different suspension. I don't know how it compares to, I guess if it's different, that they improved it a little bit, but I did the Wilbur's Nivomat. I think I covered everything. This video is made for, as a recommendation of things that like I did, and for you as a new Lowrider ST owner. I did get to see the 2025 model, and I have a video about it, my first impression. I haven't ridden it yet. Whatever applies from the list of the upgrades that I did, go ahead and check it out. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this was somewhat informative and you learned something for this. Thank you for watching. I'm Sandy and you're watching Holy Shift, guys. Till the next video. Peace out.